Welcome back to News in Focus. Now, a report titled "The Initial Cost Estimates Link to the Foot and Mouth Disease Crisis" has said that this ongoing crisis in South Africa is expected to inflict heavy economic losses on the beef and dairy industry, two of the country's largest agricultural subsectors. Now, the report recently released by the Bureau for Food and Agricultural Policy said that a total of 24,400 foot and mouth diseases cases were reported in domestic livestock in South Africa, a figure significantly surpassing the previous 20-year high of 7,700 foot and mouth disease cases in 2022. Joining me now to take this conversation forward, I'd like to welcome the CEO of the South African Agricultural Initiative, Francois Rousseau. Francois, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Francois, I'm looking at this report and it is kind of scary given that we've got the beef and the dairy industry, which really contributes quite significant portions to the South African economy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of sitting in conference rooms and thinking about what the cost estimate could be, because we are busy talking to farmers on the ground, farmers who have only, like, as soon as yesterday had to shoot 150 dairy cows, farmers who are unable to pay their expenses right now. Because you see, unlike other disasters, for let's say a drought where you can sell off your livestock piece for piece to ensure cash flow, with this crisis you cannot sell anything from the exact moment that you are quarantined. And this is where the real cost. This is not only just a livestock cost, this is also a human cost. And this is certainly going to spiral out to other sectors because this is a highly communicable disease. And we needed immediate action 5 months ago. Now we just have to do damage control.
Francois, I want to read this quote from Dr. Gideon Bruckner, who's the World Organization for Animal Health. And of course, he said that the government had announced a 10-year control program aligned with international guidelines. He said what the minister did announce is that they're embarking on this, but one thing that needs to be abided by is that you can only use vaccines that are manufactured in terms of the standards of the World Organization of Animal Health, and that they must have control over the purchases of the vaccination. This quote over here from Dr. Bruckner, what does it speak to in terms of this, the severity of this? Yeah.
No, I need to stop you there because that was disinformation. You're talking about a report where Dr. Bruckner was misquoted by Wandile Sihlobo and Johan Kirsten.
Yeah.
So just a couple of minutes ago, Dr. Bruckner issued the following statement to one of the agricultural magazines here in South Africa. And I'm really glad you brought this up because this needs to be addressed. In his quote, he says the following: "The state does not necessarily have to physically vaccinate all the animals, and the distribution of the vaccine can be devolved to the private sector. There is no restriction in the law on there is no restriction in the law on who may vaccinate and who may not, but it must be under official supervision," meaning someone like a private veterinarian. Bruckner said that if the South African government cannot provide guarantees to the WOA regarding the handling and administration of the vaccine, we can just forget that the WOA will consider our process to be at all credible. So our guarantees can be done via the private sector. There is nothing in South African law that says the state must govern this whole process. And for the so-called academics to misquote an expert like that in a veterinary paper where, they as economists are trying to make a statement is concerning, to say the least.
So, Francois, my understanding is that the private sector can get involved. And this is, of course, where a lot of the supposed discussions or disagreements have been, that the state wants to take complete control of this actual vaccination.
Yes, that's it. This whole thing, and that is the reason for our court action as well, is there's nothing prohibiting farmers and private veterinarians from accessing and procuring vaccines from private institutions. But government is all about centralization. They want to add more role players to this whole value chain, and they want to add profit to bail out certain institutions who have been defunct for decades.
Francois, Minister John Steenhuisen, has there been discussions, for example, organizations like yourself and many others, especially within the farming community, because one would think that this affects the farmers, those that are in the areas where, like you've mentioned, a farmer had to shoot down a number of cattle, given where we are in terms of this crisis. Has there been discussions, first of all, and what have the discussions been?
No, it's the position of that department that if you disagree with their policy directions or plans, you get shut out of the whole system because they are extremely allergic to any criticism. So if you ask critical questions of the department or of the minister or of the actions that they have taken, you get shut out and you are not part of the consultory processes. There are also very strict non-disclosure agreements that you are required to sign to participate there. And those non-disclosure agreements also say that you cannot speak out against or what is discussed within those groups. So it's very concerning what the participatory environment is where these plans are hatched.
Francois, this is a huge crisis because, and I mentioned it in my first question, there are many South Africans who, of course, depend on products like beef and milk. And I guess if the vaccination rollout is going to be slow and if this crisis continues to not be averted, the price of beef is going to go high. I guess bring you on is the reason why we have this discussion, because one of it is organizations like yourself who act in a private sector capacity would say, well, this has to stop. We have to find some sort of agreement to make sure that the pockets of South Africans are not getting drier because of this. So where are we in terms of sort of private sector participation, especially, for example, organizations like yours, the South African Agricultural Initiative?
Yeah, so our position is of trying to influence the correct policy and doing advocacy on behalf of farmers. Unfortunately, we have seen within the past couple of days, black on white proof that the minister is circumventing private industry and making back channel deals with these international companies. Just simply telling them, look, we as government do not want to work with the private importers, the people who have the correct cold storage facilities and logistics chains in place. We want to do this ourselves. We want to use institutions that are not even financially stable to solve the biggest crisis in animal health within the last 100 years. So we do not see that, and at this stage, we don't even know what the extent of the problem is, because we first of all don't know how many cattle there are or how many are infected. So I cannot tell you when this will be solved or when we can ensure that the private sector will be fully involved or be able to assist with this problem. What I can tell you is if the private sector is unleashed, and if we do get a new Minister of Agriculture who is serious about this problem, we can solve it within 6 months' time. Otherwise, you are looking at a 24-month plus problem, where all of these family farms who have not only farmed with cattle and dairy, but also wool and etc. And we're also seeing the effects in the game industry at the moment, where it will just not be profitable to be farming this commodity, and they will move on to other industries, and we will have a supply shortage, and we as consumers will pay the price.
Francois, one final question. How deep are we into the crisis? Can it still be averted? Because I'm a lover of red meat. I'm sure you are a lover of red meat also. Can it be averted? Because I think the last thing that we want is to be paying high prices or us having no red meat at all. I must say, amongst my family, we've said, let's just hold on the red meat because we really don't know the extent of this crisis.
Yeah, so the time to manage this crisis was 6 months ago. We're already in it. And the problem is you cannot manage what you cannot measure, and we cannot measure anything. less than 10% of cases are reported. And government has no grips on this. There are no liaising with the South African Police Force or the South African National Defence Force to put up roadblocks to ensure that infected cattle do not travel across state or provincial lines so that the infection does not spread. So I would say we are absolutely at the very, very early stages of this issue. There's been no vaccinations in this country since the middle of December, and we still haven't received any. So we still got a long haul.
Francois Rousseau, I beg your pardon. Francois Rousseau, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, you also. That's Francois Rousseau. He is the CEO of the South African Agricultural Initiative. Do stay tuned to News in Focus. We'll be back after the break.